Well, greetings, people of the internet. Unky Joe here, Unky Joe's Playhouse. Today, you are coming to work with me, whether you want to or not. That's right, today is another day in the life of an IT guy. And today, it's a big one. In fact, it's a video spanning 4 days worth of work. We're moving a client that I've had for, God dang, near 10 years now I've had these folks as a client. I just can't shake them. And we're moving them from one facility to a new facility. And their square footage is going from a whole lot of square footage to a little bit of square footage. In fact, they're moving into about as much square footage as I have here in my home, which is about, I think it's 2,200 square feet. And the building they're in now is 25,000 square feet, something like that. So, yeah, they didn't occupy all that space. So let me be clear on that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the breakdown of the old site and packing of equipment and coming to the new site. So let's go get the video started right now. All right, let's begin with the fiber connection we're going to be saying goodbye to. Unfortunately, here's their backup edge router. And then this is the rack as it was in the cabinet under the stairs. You've got quite a few super micro servers, 3. There's a PoE switch from Unify. Got a pfSense. That D-Link switch is their old backup switch, and then of course a Unify 48 port switch. They aren't going to have quite as many connections at the new location, but there'll be enough that we still need the 48 port switch. And there's their old telephone wiring. I had no responsibility for that at all, and never tried to make any sense of it. Those were the old days, and somebody else is missing. This is my old cubicle at the old office. Getting everything packed up. And it's amazing, you know, when you go to move, the things that you thought were precious or that you had to have suddenly become trash when you were faced with having to move them to a new location. And a lot of these machines just 5 years ago were really competent machines, and now they're not. And that's just the way of the IT. So here's another view of the cubicle as I got things cleaned up. So I was basically responsible for all the computer, telephones, copiers, printers, that kind of thing, getting them packed up and ready to go to the new location. And so that's what this footage is all about, is me going through all of that stuff. And like I said, you'll see how we were disposing of a lot of stuff. Is just we were kind of tossing it over the rail here into that green bin down on the first floor. So old keyboards, old copies of Windows, that kind of thing that just are no longer needed. There's a whole spool of blank CDs. All right, so here's the main entryway of the new building. And this faces US Highway 281 in San Antonio. It's a busy thoroughfare. But here's what you see when you walk in. Now that room behind those blinds is the conference room. And you can see we've got some already wired. I have to hand it to whoever wired this building. They planned for the future. We got data, we got voice, and I don't know what the red one is, but probably something important, right? So you come in, there's the conference room. You've got an office here to your left, small one with a window on it. Got an old telephone jack in here. And they labeled all the jacks. It was very nice of them. 2 data connections, one for phone for me and one for the computer, because we do VoIP here. But we could do regular old standard voice lines as well. So got that there. Then in the conference room is where I'm setting up my computer right now, temporary staging location. We've got a data connection down here and power. And then this is the view of the conference room, a nice view out into the highway. And here's a credenza they put in here, and we've got several more, 2 more data connections and a voice. That's it for this room. Then come down the hallway, another office here to the left. And again, in the corner, we've got data and voice. 2 data, 1 voice, and an extra connection. I'm sure they had maybe a, who knows, a fax machine or something in here. And then we come down the hall, and we take a left, and there's my room right here. It's got a glass window in. I've never been lucky enough to. Well, I have one other client I had a glass wall. I don't know that I'm going to keep that metal cage there. It needs to be cleaned up. But basically, we're going to put all the computers that people remote into on this rack. And the reason I am is because they went ahead and there are jacks down here for multiple PCs and power. Now this rack's been in a print shop and it's got ink all over it. I need to clean it up. So we can only get Spectrum cable in here. So it's only going to be 600 by 35. But we're checking with AT&T to see if they offer fiber into the building, and then we'll use the coax as a backup to the fiber. And as you can see, when they left the building, they pulled the patch panel. I don't know why people do that. Just leave it, you know? No big deal. I've got a patch. We're going to use Keystone jacks on all these, and so what I've been doing tonight is going around and toning them all out, because they didn't even label them. You know, they could have at least labeled them for the next guy, me. And then I think what we're going to have to do is put the rack in this corner. Now this room is only 43 inches wide. The rack is 21.5. So if I put the rack all the way up against the left wall, that'll leave me enough room, perhaps, to come around behind the rack if I need to. The other problem is power is way over there. No big deal. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way to do it. I could put the rack over here and have it face this window here so they could show it off, but I don't think anybody cares. And then back there is the kitchen and 2 restrooms. And then we have the CFO's offices right here to the right, and he's got 2 data, 1 voice there, and over on the other side of the room, 2 data, 1 voice, and a couple of biscuit jacks that I don't know what they're for. He's got a nice view of the highway. And then over here is a storage closet. So this is going to be for their storage, so we're not going to wire this room at all. In fact, it doesn't even have a drop in here. No need for it. The copy machine is going to go right here. So there's 2 drops and a voice drop there. One of the head sales guys is going to be in this office. He's got a nice little way to get out onto the patio. And he's got, look at this old phone connection here next to his data jacks. He's got a couple of data jacks, so he'll be in good shape. You know, it never fails though. The connections are over here. You know, he'll want to put his desk over here or something. Who knows? This is the accountant's office here, and she's got nothing over here but telephone, and then over here 2 data, 1 voice, and then a biscuit jack here for, I don't know, maybe they had a fax machine or something in here. Tone that out. And then there's going to be 3 cubicles in this. This is the last office. There's going to be 3 cubicles in here, but only 2 drops. 2 data drops, 1 voice. So we'll have to put a switch in here. I'm not going to put another drop in if I don't have to. I don't see any biscuit jacks on the wall. That's good, I guess. There is a blank right there. I suppose I could crawl up around the ceiling, but they don't want me to run any drops if I don't have to, because that adds to the cost. So there we are. There's where we came in down that long hall. And I'll have some more video tomorrow as we start getting the rack and getting the patch panel in. I've got to meet with the Spectrum cable people tomorrow. Yeah, and here's my little work area. I brought my lamp with me. So this is my workstation. Only a single monitor, it's all I need. Got my toolbox here. I was going to try and label all the connections tonight, but my Marks-a-Lot gave out on me, so we'll finish that tomorrow. This gives you an idea of the size of the conference room, and then of course I'm right here. Central control, as they say. And wish me luck. It's going to be a busy day tomorrow. Alright, so let's get some shots of my workstation here. And I got boxes of stuff. You see I've got an old Wi-Fi access point. That is not going to be going back up. I got some phones to install. The Wi-Fi that is going back up is in here somewhere. In the midst of all this stuff. Oh, here we go. I found it. I found it. Wi-Fi UAP AC light. Yeah, AC light. So that'll be going in today. Phones will be hooked back up. I've got some UPSs here. Battery backup units that I'm testing. These are bad, so they need batteries. I've still got some PCs I need to replace. Let's see, I've got a box full of cables and an old switch. This is actually their backup switch. So some of the offices I already have installed, got dual monitors. Some of the offices are not going to get connections at all. We got the copier here, I need to connect that up today. Server room, so see I've got 4 or 5 Dell computers up there. That's for people that work remotely. And these were their actual physical terminals here at the office. I've got the cables kind of run down the rack for now. I've got some battery backup units up there, and then here's the rack itself. So what I'm doing today, here's the temperature in the server room, if I can get my camera on there, and my clock, so you know what time I'm getting started. It's almost 11. I stopped and got breakfast / lunch so I could get that out of the way. So what the task in hand today, I wish I'd have caught the Spectrum before they put their equipment in, because that's right where my little rack needs to go that's going to mount on the wall. So I've started terminating these cables, and I'm using these great little Keystone jacks, and they're made by TrendNet, and they're Cat 6, and they are really, really good Keystone jacks. Really easy to put together. So I'm getting all the cables terminated and labeled because the other company took the patch panel out. I still have these to wire. I'll take care of them. But the first thing I need to do is get all this Spectrum equipment. So this is the modem. This is their wireless, I think. And this is their actual router. I'm not going to show you the password. I don't know. The guy explained it to me what all the equipment was, but I need to get it off of the wall and into the rack. And one little problem I have is I've got to move all this cable too. I've got to make everything fit in this new little box rack in this little area between that orange and these patch cables, and then get everything in there neatly. And some of these patch cables are longer than others, so you know, we'll have to do some work. But yeah, there's the rack. I've got a Synology NAS down at the bottom, their PBX server. Then I've got 3 super micro servers, a Dell R710 for virtualization, and then a Dell R210 Model 2, and then a Wi-Fi switch, which is going to go into the new rack on the wall. So less talk, a little more action. Hopefully everything's going to reach in here. I like where I've got the rack. It still gives me room to get along the side of it and to the back. So we'll come back. So I thought I'd take a little more footage. Here's my 1U patch panel. So let me take you back here to the server room. We're making progress. So I managed to get the cage on the wall. and it's level. I didn't bring a level, but fortunately I brought my phone with me, which served as a level. So that's all good. So now what I need to do is I'm going to put the patch panels in position 6 and 5, and then the switch will be in 4. I was hoping I could get all this cable modem stuff down here on this shelf unit, but I can't. They're just too tall, they won't lay on their side. And hopefully, as you see, I'm not online right now either. Hopefully this stuff will all reset itself here momentarily. I'm hoping I got it plugged in right. But anyway, it's now about 11:30, so this is about an hour's worth of work. And I'm just trying to logistically get everything set up, staged, so I know where I need to mount everything on the wall. And then it looks like I'm going to bring in the cables underneath for the patch panel, if they're long enough. They should be. So I'll bring them underneath from the rear. I'd love to bring them in through the top, but as you can see, I've got this temporary shelf up here for the Spectrum stuff. So yeah, and then I'm going to have a we're also going to have a fiber modem here as well. So hopefully they'll just be able to mount that on the wall if we don't have rack space. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right, so the first patch panel is secured. Now I went ahead and got a shielded Category 6 patch panel, and I'll show you what it looks like. I got the TrendNet connectors and the TrendNet Cat 6 shielded. Even though we're only running Cat 5e, I went ahead and got a Cat 6 shielded. And let me tell you, these things are dead simple to put in, as long as you're using. And look how much space you have between them. You have plenty of space to get these in and out of there. And then I got this patch panel specifically because it had tie-off points here where I could tie the cables. You know, I can't tell you how many times people have go to pull cables out of a rack and they pop one of these out because the cables aren't tied back. So these I still need to identify. They're not in use right now, but I'm not going to let that stop me today. And then these are going to go into the other 24-port patch panel. So I've got 7 and 8, 10, 13, 15, 16, 20, 23, and 24 that need to be identified. And then I've got 26 right here that I've already identified, 29 and 27. So I'm going to go ahead and insert these 3 into the patch panel so I can get them mounted up there, and then I'll come back at another time and finish tracing out these other cables, because the whole goal today is to get them up and running. And I've got Monday I can come out here too. I got my cable stuff put up here, and I got them back online. I had this device, which as far as I can tell is the router and the Wi-Fi. I had it plugged into the cable modem here, but evidently it goes into the phone modem instead to the back of that. So once I plugged it in, I got a blue light and all is well. So we'll come back in a bit. Alright, so we're on the final day. So as you can see, the boxes are pretty much gone. I've still got some stuff to pick up and take with me. There's an old KVM, PS2 KVM, and an old D-Link 48-port switch, gigabit switch. It's a backup switch, but it's been on loan to these folks. So I've got a printer there that we don't have a home for yet. Cleaning supplies. Hey, there's my mug that my spouse got for me, George Michael. Isn't that nice? I went ahead and staged a unit over here, but for some reason I can't get the second monitor to work, but we'll worry about that later. So I got a unit there. I've got a couple of spare computers. Our front desk is here, so it's still being assembled, but anywhere where they might have a computer up here later, but for right now I just put a phone up here. It's not plugged in, it's not activated, but this office is ready to go. It's got a phone, it's got a computer with double monitors, it's got a phone hooked up so they can go to work. Today's Monday, the 5th of July. They're off today. Now this office is just going to be kind of overflow, so I've got a phone staged but not hooked up. And CFO's office is right here. So here's his office. Got a computer, some monitors, got his printer, check scanner, and phone. This is one of the lead sales guy's offices. His computer, phone, dual monitors. This is the accounting office. Got it all set up. Dual monitors, phone, printer. Oh, and a credit card machine over there. Then this office, I've got phones staged here. I went ahead and activated these connections in this office. Even though I've only got one PC here, this is their shipping station for UPS. So I went ahead and put a phone here. And then I staged these two cubicles with phones, just in case. And this one will have a network connection down there on the floor. So yeah, we got everything wired. And here's all the boxes I emptied today. Now, they didn't specifically tell me I had to find a home for everything, but, you know, this is my daily weather. So, as you can see here, there's a server room through the glass, and I've got keyboards and speakers and VoIP phones. If anybody wants to buy some Grandstream phones, let me know. I'll give you a really good deal on some phones. I got keyboards and mice up there. Then I've got the PCs that the folks are working on from home. And then I've got a little box there with some switches in it, overflow. And then I got a box of network cables down here. And some more, another box of some more parts, cables, USB cables, power cables. And I got some mice, a couple sets of speakers, a power supply. And then of course, here we go. There's the battery backup for the switch and for the for the switch and for the power over Ethernet switch. So there's a clock. You can see what the temperature is in here. So it's just about 3 o'clock. I mounted the Unify AP up there. I checked the entire floor down here. We're getting 100 megabit internet, so it's, you know, I don't need to mount it anywhere else. I still have a few leads I need to terminate, but here is the patch panel. So we've got a 48 port patch panel, even though they're not all in use. So I wanted to go ahead and get two Keystone Jack patch panels. And I got to tell you, these and there's the boo-boo on my finger I've been having to work with. So these are TrendNet patch panels and Cat5 connectors, and I love them. I cannot say enough good things about them. I have not had a single bad connection with any of these connectors, with any of these what do they call them, jacks, pass-through jacks. None at all. Here's the Unify 48 port switch, and I've got all my servers, all the IPMI on the servers over on one side, and then from 37 on, and then all the PCs. I need to get some more purple patch cables. I've ran out. There's their Aris cable modem. There's their telephone. There's their wireless and their router for Spectrum. And then we have a PoE switch here. Again, the APC UPS. And then here we have their racks. So there's their pfSense firewall. There's their virtual machine managers. You can see I've got a hard drive that's gone bad on that. That's a Dell R710. Then we got 3 super micro servers down there. There's their PBX system right there. And there's their Synology NAS and a UPS. So this is the entire length of the server room. There's our alarm panel. So yeah. So I'm going to sweep up the mess I have on the floor here. Now this power strip down here is only temporary. The power behind this rack is for some reason not active. So they got an electrician coming in. So I'm going to sweep up the floor here, and then I'm going to close this up, and I'm done in here at least for a week or so. The rack again is a TrendNet. No, actually it's a Is it a TrendNet rack? It's a 6-port or 6U rack. And yeah, I love it. Worked out really well. Don't want to forget my drill. And I got some phones and stuff just kind of lying around. I got some cables flipped over the edge here just so I can have them handy. So yeah, I'm finishing some updates on the computer, and then I'm gonna load up the car and I'm gonna go home and have some hamburgers. And oh, FedEx is here. I'm gonna have me some hamburgers, and gonna have me some macaroni salad and potato salad, and maybe even go for a swim because I am knackered. So anyway, job is done here for the most part. We'll be back to visit him again, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get packed up and get ready to go home. So the client has been trying to sell this building for a couple of years now. It's just way too big for them. They had when they purchased the building, they had planned to lease it out, but the economy just didn't allow for that. So they moved in this smaller building. Now with all the stuff happening in the world and the Wu flu and all that other stuff, a lot of their staff went from working physically coming in and working to working from home. They had it, so about, I would say, 2/3 of their staff started working from home, and they're going to maintain that. The other third come into the office, so they didn't need as much space. But it presented some special problems for us. Well, not problems. It put us in a situation where we needed to come up with solutions. Now, fortunately, I had started moving these folks to a hybrid solution, part cloud and part local servers and storage. A couple of years ago, they already had remote access into their machines, secure remote access. So this was just another layer we added onto them. Now, we had to keep some of their physical workstations because they have been progressional updates from Windows 7 to Windows 10, and they have a specific Visual Basic application that runs on a SQL Server 2000 server backend that cannot run on a clean install of Windows 10 because the clean install of Windows 10 doesn't include the parts that were in Windows 7, if you follow me. So their application won't work on a brand new installation of Windows 10. So we had to keep those physical workstations, and we basically put them on that metal rack so that their people can come in and use them remotely from home. And then we also have a combination on that Dell R710 server of virtual Windows 10 machines that people can come in and do work on as well. So it's a good mix for these folks, and they were prepared because I like to kind of be forward-looking, and I knew that remote access is always a thing people want. People like to work on the weekends, that kind of thing. So we had that all planned, and then I'd already started moving them to Office 365, so they were ready for that. So we did install a new 6U rack on the wall. I wanted to get the old switch was originally on the server rack. I didn't want it on there anymore. You saw those long cables connecting it. So I got its own rack for the switch and for the patch panels. I went ahead and got 2 patch panels. I have fallen in love with these connectors. In fact, I'm going to share with you the brand right now. And these are all I'm ever going to buy again. Now, these are Cat 6 connectors, and they're made by a company called TrendNet. And it's a 90-degree, they call it a 90-degree, it's a 50-pack of Cat 6 toolless keystone jacks. And I didn't bother to see if they have them in all kinds of colors, and when they say they're toolless, yeah, they are. But you need a pair of pliers to squeeze them down, so that is one tool you'll need. But basically, in this little package comes everything you need. So there's the toolless. It's got a cover, and let me open it up and I'll show you. So you take this part of the connector, and you stick your Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable in the bottom, and you spread out your wires and push them into these little... There's little grooves on the side that hold the wire. It's already color coded. Then once you do that, you simply take your cover There's two little ears here, right? Can you see that? One little ear, two little ears. You just basically slide it onto there until it clicks, and then you close it, and I squeeze it with a pair of pliers, and then you take the wire tie you have here, and there's a little spot for it to go in. You see it on the back here, so you take your wire tie like that and tie it around there and secure it. Easiest, most reliable, foolproof connector I have used in 30 years of doing IT. And like I say, it's a Keystone jack. It is Cat 6, so it'll work with Cat 6 cable. It will not work with Cat 6 shielded cable. I will try and remember to put down in the bottom a link to these on Amazon where I got them. These are the only connectors I'm going to use from now on. And then went ahead and I got some Category 6 shielded patch panels from the same company, TrendNet. And you saw them in the video. They're all the connectors I'm ever going to buy again. They're just so damn easy to use. And as I lose the dexterity in my hands and feeling from this damn pinched nerve in my neck, those made my life a breeze. So hopefully they will make yours one too. Now I still have some follow-up work to do. I want to get AT&T in there. They couldn't meet our deadline, so we went with Spectrum. But I want to get AT&T fiber in there as their primary connection, and then we'll make the Spectrum their backup connection. I've still got some cabling to finish up in there, the AT&T. I've still got some phones to provision, that kind of thing. But I spent 4 days in a row out there right before July 4th. So now I'm taking the week off, and Friday I'll be going to the owner of this company's house to install that Eero wireless networking. And then probably next weekend I will go and finish up the work at this client location. But I wanted to take you along on the ride to just kind of show you how it went. And that's the beauty of having, I'm very picky about who I choose as a client. I want to make sure they're easygoing people, that they have knowledgeable staff, that they have a techie kind of person there who can follow basic instructions, keeps me from having to do unnecessary trips out there. And that, that trust me and give me a key to the building and the alarm code so I can come and go at my leisure. And it works out really well. In fact, the CEO of the company and the CFO of the company and I were moving physically stuff, and we're all in our 50s, and along with the moving company that they hired. But these guys hung in there right along with me, and I was shocked we got done what we got done, but it was a lot of fun doing it. And as you can see, we got everything done in a timely manner. So there you go, folks. We hope you found the video entertaining and informative. As always, please give us a thumbs up down below. Leave your comments in the comments section. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that notification bell to be notified of new videos. And ignore my stomach grumbling if you can hear that. I'm having some tummy trouble today. Donate if you're so inclined. PayPal, Patreon, and the YouTube join function. Please come back and see us again, and don't forget, we'll see all of you on the other side.